Good evening and welcome to News Hour. I am Kojo Kwafu. Coming up in tonight's edition of News Hour, President Julius Maada Bio promises Sierra Leone people quality leadership. A truck with registration number AMW656 injures 18 passengers, and torrential rains caused flooding that destroys houses and properties worth millions of leones in the Ascension town area. All these stories and more, including your sports news and entertainment news, are all lined up in tonight's edition of News Hour. Well, we will come back to our top stories, but for now, residents around the Ascension town area have suffered from serious flooding that have destroyed houses and properties that are worth millions of leones. The members of the public are calling on the government to help rehabilitate the drainage system to avoid further flooding. Well, nobody was reported dead by the torrential rains in the area. However, Kube community, which used to be flooded every year, is said to be alright at the present time. Well, despite this ugly development as Ascension town, this year's rainy season seems to be better off as compared to the flooding which occurred in 2017. Many believe that it's a general monthly cleaning that was instituted by the government that is responsible for this. However, former Chelsea player Michael Essien and wife have assured President Julius Maada Bio of their support to his government by investing in the areas of agriculture, education and energy. Mrs. Akusue Essien made the disclosure during a meeting with President Bio at State House, as they have been embarking on the same in other African countries. Well, Hawa Mosiro was there and she now reports.
As the government continues to intensify more collaborative efforts to develop the country, more donors and partners in development are still expressing interest to support the government. In this regard, Michelle and Michaels Limited, who is owned by a former footballer of Chelsea and wife, is now planning to support President Julius Maada Bio's new direction agenda in the education, energy, agriculture and telecommunications sectors. Akusue Essien told President Julius Maada Bio and team that they achieved in bringing up so many footballers in Africa and encouraging them to preach peace and organizing games of hope, which was created to mobilize youth in promoting education in most of the African countries. Madam Essien said this is how they transform most of the youth who are now entrepreneurs and writers who also promote literacy in their communities.
So we are here looking at different business interests in Sierra Leone, and we've got partners who we've invested in their businesses and we've worked with alongside. Mr. Pandanua has kindly advised us on how to do business. So before going into the various sectors, we're just here to introduce ourselves to you, let you know we are in Sierra Leone to work for the betterment of your government and the people. We're keen and excited about Sierra Leone, and we've got a lot of ideas. We have a lot of partners and we're looking at telecoms. Some of them do refurbishing of airports. There's a company we've worked with in the past, they do biometric passports and IDs for communities so we can ascertain the people.
President Julius Maada Bio described his administration as a new era, as his government is looking at things aimed to provide very sound governance system for the people of Sierra Leone. The president also informed the team about his new direction administration agenda, whose aim focus is on education, health, agriculture and energy sectors. He noted that Sierra Leone used to be the Athens of West Africa, adding that most of the civil servants in the West African sub-region attended educational institutions in Sierra Leone.
What we put as our flagship program is actually education. Education, of course, I don't need to stress the importance, but for some of us who've gone through it very easily, we take it for granted. And we don't even value it anymore because it's part of us. But a lot of people are losing around the world, dropping out of school for mere $10, $15 a year. So we are known once for the quality of education which we provided, and we are able to share that with the West African region and even Africa. Most of the civil servants around West Africa came here, but now that's not the situation, so we are trying to turn things around.
Chief Minister Professor David Francis commended Mr. and Mrs. Essen for the visit and also plans for the country, as he is impressed with their developmental initiatives that they are planning to embark on in the country. He informed them about the recent moves by the government towards agriculture, which led to the launch of a consultative forum with the private sector for rice production, as the government wants to make rice a lucrative commercial venture where people can become multimillionaires, as Sierra Leone used to export rice to other countries. President Julius Maada Bio also visited the Sierra Leone People's Party office at Wallace Johnson Street in Freetown, where he addressed party supporters to be patient as the government is trying to put structures in place. The status of the country's economy, he told the supporters, was in a very bad shape when his government took office. He noted the high expectations of supporters, but said his government is working hard to make sure that things get better for every citizen. SABC TV News are in Freetown. Hamaswe reporting.
In his message during this year's Career Sunday service at the Sacred Heart Cathedral, President Julius Maada Bio has promised to provide quality leadership for the people of Sierra Leone. The Career Sunday service has its theme, "It's like sheep without a shepherd," and also recognized President Julius Maada Bio as a distinguished Grand Chief Patron. Let's once more join Hawa Musiri.
Including teachers, doctors, entrepreneurs, during the service. Welcoming worshippers at the cathedral, Vice President of the Parish Pastoral Council, Kinikeje Fumulu, stated that they are overwhelmed to have President Maada Bio in their midst, as he was also worshipping with the congregation during his campaign as flag bearer of the Sierra Leone People's Party. The Vice President of the Parish Pastoral Council told the church that the GTT report is a clear indication that the President and team is ready to work and take the country forward. Preacher of the sermon, Reverend Father John Bibeli, noted that the theme for the service is to provide leaders with awareness to take certain decisions that will make them succeed in their workplace. No matter what happens, this is how they encourage their Catholic brothers and sisters to be steadfast and believed in what they are doing, despite their tribe, religion, and section they are coming from, Father Bibele added. He called on those given responsibilities in the new administration to work diligently, as the free education project in President Bio's new direction agenda is a big improvement for Sierra Leone so that the country will gain its past glory. Father Bibeli in his sermon cited Jeremiah 23 verse 1, "As I gathered the remnants of my flock, and I will set shepherds over them."
The leader must take decisions that sometimes are very much unfamiliar with the people. People will not clap for those decisions. They may be very stiff decisions because he or she stands firm and looks far into the future and says such a decision has to be taken so that my people will stop suffering, so that my people will not go through hardship. My people will have what is meant for them to be given to them. Praise the Lord. So the Lord says, "Woe unto you, shepherds grass. When you abandon my flock, I myself will do the job.
President Julius Maada Bio highlighted that he was in Secret Cathedral few months ago when he prayed to the Almighty God to be elected as president. He is in the same church to say thanks to the Lord.
God is good. And all the time. Several months ago, I was here to pray to the Lord to answer a specific request, which was to make me the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Today, I'm here to say thank you, Lord, for making me the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone.
And to be true shepherd to the people of Sierra Leone, though his government inherited one of the worst economies, but his team is working to improve the economy within the shortest possible time. President Julius Maada Bio appealed to the faithful to have faith in God, as he will never let them down.
I have promised quality leadership to get us from where we are. It is going to be tough at the beginning, but I know where I want to take this nation to. And with your support, and in the name of Jesus, when you seek, you shall find. And if you ask, he will always answer. And he promised us that whatsoever we shall ask our God in his name, the Lord will always have mercy on us and answer us.
Representatives from different careers competed to raise funds as part of the service. Also, items presented to the clergy and presentation of plaque to the president climax the career service, which also marked the church 132 years. SABC TV News are in Freetown. Hawamosiri reporting.
A truck with registration number AMW 656 today lost control whilst coming from Moritown and ran into a bus with registration number ANV 749 around the Congo Cross area, and that bus was carrying about 18 passengers. Well, although nobody was reported dead, the driver sustained some serious injury together with some passengers. Judge Lewis compiled this report. Well, that report will be brought to you as we proceed in the program. The Chief Minister has assured persons living with disability of free quality education and healthcare. Professor David Francis was speaking at a Global Disability Summit satellite event held at the British Council Hall in Freetown. The commitment, he said, will achieve a lasting change for persons living with disability. Princess Gibson was at the event, which was organized by the British High Commission, and she now reports.
Of global disability, Sierra Leone as a developing country should take steps to address challenges faced by persons with disability. This year's Global Disability Summit satellite has seen commitments by the Chief Minister, Professor David Francis, to persons with disability.
As a government, we are committed to making the following. We provide free quality education for children with disabilities, and we will put measures in place to facilitate their access to learning. As a government, we will take on board the special case of children with disability as we start the implementation of the free quality education program in September. Secondly, we will make free healthcare accessible to people with disabilities by identifying challenges to access and developing a strategy to enhance their access.
Executive Director, Welfare Society for the Disabled in Cambia District, Joseph Aliu, who made a presentation on behalf of persons with disability, outlined some of the challenges they are faced with.
Special needs schools are very few in the country and they are far apart. And for some of these children, there is no way to get medical education if these special needs schools are not in their communities or in their districts. Their parents are poor. There is a strong relationship between poverty and disability. Lack of disability aids also came out in our discussions with these children.
The British High Commissioner to Sierra Leone, Guy Warrington, noted that the Global Charter has high-ranging actions for lasting change for persons with disability. Another form of disability is autism, which, according to the head of Autistic Society, Sierra Leone, Mary Pentimiti, requires highly specialized education and other needs. Some of the recommendations made include the full implementation of the 2011 Disability Act to foster inclusion, the establishment of a disability desk at various ministries, departments and agencies, and governments to honor Global Disability Charter. Princess Gibson, SLBC News.
Well, due to the Ebola outbreak in the country that led to massive loss of lives and left many in trauma, the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, in partnership with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Health Africa and Concern Worldwide, has launched the Sierra Leone Ebola data. The data will help family members locate the burial sites of their loved ones. The event took place at the Cochrane Military Headquarters in Freetown. Cynthia Kamara filed in this report, read by Salma Tabar.
The Ebola outbreak in Sierra Leone in 2014 killed thousands and left many in a heart-rending state as you're unable to see the dead bodies of their relatives and their burial locations. The Ebola disease left unprintable and sad memories in the minds of Sierra Leoneans. It swept away the country's resources, both human and finance, causing a rapid scaling down of the economy. Relatives desire eagerly to know and identify their loved ones, but had ever been opportune to get that information. As a result of this, the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, in partnership with Disease Prevention and Control, Health Africa and Concern Worldwide, have thought it wise to establish an Ebola data to assist relatives of those killed by Ebola and buried by the then government access information easily. This would be a welcome initiative by the public, especially Ebola survivors. This was confirmed to SLBC by the data manager, Sailing Ebola Data, Jadnan Dalinda Harding, that the software will enable relatives of those who lost their lives during the Ebola outbreak get the right information of burial sites.
How we develop the incoming call script? There are so many steps. You have to design the form for the needed information to get the gravesite based on our data knowledge. We develop the script for the incoming call. We have to review so many software because we need a software that is user-friendly.
National Health Coordinator Concerned Worldwide, Sarah Kundi, said even though there were lots of deaths during the Ebola outbreak, they ensured that they render safe and dignified burial to the dead.
Reunify families with the grace of their loved ones who died during Ebola. Very, very hard together to make sure that the media message that we're broadcasting was absolutely right. We will be offering the service when we speak to people on the phone lines. That will be in either Creole, Timney or Mende.
Country Manager, Center for Disease Prevention and Control, Dr. John Reid, recalled the worst moments during the Ebola outbreak and admonished Sierra Leoneans to maintain hope. The country manager stated that he is happy about the great victory the country had over the epidemic.
The darkest times of my entire life, as well as some of the very highest times, and it really ran the whole gamut of emotion from some feelings, particularly as Dr. Jambai mentioned, in the fall of 2014 was, I'm sure, as dark a time as most of us have seen.
He lauded the group for its job in the country, as those who died did not die in vain.
A cataract surgeon attached to the ophthalmology department at the Connaught Hospital in Freetown, Dr. Alhaji Koroma, has said that eye-affected cases are on the increase to the rate of 60%, ranging from children to adults. He made a statement when SLBC went to the hospital to look at the rate of the number of cases and eye-affected diseases that they are dealing with. Madam Asuma reports.
Many eye diseases have no early symptoms. They may be painless and you may see no change in your vision until the disease has become quite advanced. Boggling eyes, cataracts, cataracts in babies, color blindness, diabetic macular edema, glaucoma and ocular hypertension, amongst others, are the different types of eye diseases that affect people. In Sierra Leone, cataracts are frequently reported to the site savers at the ophthalmology department at the Connaught Hospital in Freetown. The cataract surgeon attached to the ophthalmology department at the Connaught Hospital in Freetown, Dr. Alhaji Kuruma, said that outreach examinations to school and outreach communities across the country is one of the 2 ways to identify their patients. He added that cataract, which is one of the most experienced eye disease, occurs as a result of other eye diseases and mostly developed naturally with age. In fact, by age 65, many people will develop a cataract.
Cataract, which is the highest cause of blindness, is normally the first cause of cataract is aging. As people progress in age, the lens actually moves away from transparent to opacity. And so one cause for cataract is aging. Another cause for cataract is trauma to the eye. Somebody hits you in the eye, a blunt object hits you in the eye, ball, stone, hits you in the eye, the chances of getting cataract increases. Certain drugs, if you're on certain drugs for over a protracted period of time, you will get cataract.
Dr. Alhaji Kuruma informed SLBC that per day, he and his team examined over 50 patients who visited the hospital for treatment. The delicacy of the eye does not permit everyone to use an eye lens without the prescription of an optometrist. But the case is different, as nowadays people go in the street to purchase eye lenses without their prescriptions. Patrick Edward is the optometrist at the ophthalmology department at the Connaught Hospital in Freetown. He explains more on the dangers of using an eye lens without prescription.
But the danger behind that is actually when you get, unprescribed lenses, like you rightly said, picking out reading glasses without being tested. We have what we call non-communicable diseases. Diseases wherein you don't see the sign, you don't see any eye sign, like when you see the eye red or discharging water, you can come to the clinic. But sometimes there are conditions in the eye wherein you cannot actually see anything happening, to the eye, when you look at it. But inside, at the back of the eye, there's something ongoing. So we call those conditions non-communicable because you don't see any sign. So it's a danger. You just go out there and then pick glasses anyhow, or you keep buying glasses without being tested, especially people who are over 40 years.
The cataract surgeon attached to the ophthalmology department at the Connaught Hospital in Freetown, Dr. Alhaji Kuruma, whilst operating on a 4-year-old boy, said that parents are to be very careful with the type of object their children used to play with. He said the boy is going through the surgery is as a result of a pressure on the eye that was hardly hit with an object. He advised that teachers should also pay attention to the kids at school when using sharp objects like pencils, as they have received many cases on that. Dr. Kuruma also advised women who normally fixed eyelashes to be very careful, as he said, by beautifying themselves, they will end up losing the most important part of their life, which is eyesight.
Precious eye to somebody in the name of beauty, it is just cosmetic. So in the process of seeing people presenting here with corneal abrasion, and the cornea is one of the most delicate part of the eye. In fact, it is called the window of the eye. Once that one has a problem, it reduces how much you see. So we've seen cases like that.
He also added that styling gel for the hair is also dangerous for the eye. It is interesting.
Using a styling gel called bouncing gel. I'm not sure whether that's the right name, but it's normally called bouncing gel. When applied to the hair, it allows you to style your hair how you want it. But it's so corrosive to the eye. And I want to tell them that that's not good for them. They shouldn't, because when you apply that bouncing gel to your hair, one string of hair touches your eye, you regret you did.
It is interesting seeing the type of equipment the hospital is using for surgeries. It's with the international best practices, which are encouraging compared to the way it was. However, according to the cataract surgeon attached to the ophthalmology department at Sikarot Hospital in Freetown, Dr. Alhaji Kurma, the single best way to protect your vision is through regular professional eye examinations. Of course, between examinations, if you notice a change in your vision or you think your eye may be injured in any way, contact your eye care professional immediately. SLBC News, Brian Masuma reporting.
The Anti-Corruption Commission has issued a strong warning to teachers and schools authorities to stop demanding monies for the collection of report cards. In a press release issued by the Commission, the act is contrary to the established position of the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education and Section 28 of the Anti-Corruption Act of 2008. The Commission reminds schools authorities that offering and receiving an advantage, whether solicited or not, is a crime under the Anti-Corruption Act of 2008, and defaulters would be dealt with according to the law. The Commission urges parents and pupils to resist any demands and desist from offering bribes to schools authorities. The country director of UNAIDS, Dr. Michael Bong, has said that despite progress made in the fight against HIV and AIDS, there has been an increase in new infections in 50 countries in Africa. He made the statements during the launching of the Consortium for the Advancement of Rights for Key Affected Population (CAPAC) Strategic Plan 2017-2022 at the Bintu Mani Hotel Conference Hall, Aberdeen. Joseph Stanley reports.
The Consortium for the Advancement of Rights of Key Affected Population was created in 2015 as a platform to advocate for and deliver community-based health services and to promote gender and human rights-based approaches, particularly for TB and HIV. According to Dr. Boom, Sierra Leone is likely to be among the 50 countries with the increase in new infection, noting that much needs to be done to reverse this trend. It described CACAP as a human rights organization established to protect and advocate for people that are left behind in the fight against TB and HIV.
And if 50% of new infections are coming from the constituency that CACAP covers, then this is very worrisome. Most importantly, progress in children is very, very low, and it's even slowing down. So, Kaka, you have a lot to do, starting from today.
The UNAIDS country director congratulated CACAP for the strategic plan that will help guide them and encourage them to work as a team, as well as to take the lead to advocate for the voice of the voiceless. Launching the CACAP 2017-2022 strategic plan, the chairman, country coordinating mechanism, Reverend Alimami Kagbo, said because of the increase in the prevalence rate of HIV among key population, they thought it fit to set up CACAP to implement specific interventions to reduce HIV infection risks among key population. He encouraged members of the consortium to use the strategic plan as a guide not only to advocate for the human rights in key affected population, but also for behavior change. In her contribution, the chairperson of CACAP, Marie Benjamin, said 15 organizations made up the consortium that has made significant progress to help reverse the trend of HIV in key affected population. She said despite the strategic plan is ambition, they hope that at the end of the 5 years, they should have a stronger voice in advancing for the rights of key affected population. The chairperson of CACAP added that the strategic and operational plan are the blueprints that will guide their work as they aim to have diversified funding sources.
As a fledgling organization and in the midst of finding our feet, we also embarked on developing a document to guide our work in the form of our 5-year strategic plan, 2017 to 2022, through a very consultative process. The strategic plan we developed is aligned to the health sector recovery plan and will contribute to the realization of the vision enshrined in His Excellency the President's new direction.
According to other stakeholders, the strategic plan is the roadmap of the consortium that must be user-friendly and stand the test of times in addressing challenges faced in the fight against HIV in key affected population.
Reliance Insurance Trust Corporation (RITCOP) recorded profits after tax of 3.803 billion leones in 2017, compared to 3.8 billion leones in 2016, representing 26.3% in growth. This was disclosed at the company's annual general meeting held at their headquarters in Freetown. Sheikh Usmaila has more.
The company recorded a gross profit of 3.833 billion leones in 2017 as compared to 3.450 billion leones in 2016. Profit after tax was 3.803 billion leones in 2017 compared to 3.8 billion leones in 2016, representing a growth of 26.3%. These were some of the disclosures at the company's annual general meeting in Freetown. According to the board and management of RITCOP, they had a healthy financial position and funds were utilized in their ongoing construction of their head office block at Lamina Sanko Street in Freetown without facility from any financial institution. Building their human resource capacity was maintained as trainings were supported for staff. During this AGM, a dividend of 80 cents per share was proposed to shareholders, which they accepted. Two directors who had retired by rotation made themselves available for re-election and were elected. Chairman, Reliance Insurance Trust Corporation Mohammed Cole said though 2017 was a struggling year for the country's economy, they were able to make, in his words, handsome profit.
We project to do far better than what we've done this year, considering the trend of things. The area where a lot of bleeding has been taking place has been blocked, so we hope that the company will do better this year. Well, from the point of a director, I'm not too satisfied because I think we could have done better. But management was able to give adequate reason and convincing reason for why they did not do better, and they've been advised to take corrective measures so that they can do better.
Alice Onomaki, Managing Director RITCOP, said as a company, they will continue to provide quality insurance services and that they are hopeful that this year will be better.
For this year, I project that we will do better. But that depends again whether the economy will be good and whether the operating environment will be conducive.
At this AGM, the auditors, BDO, said they did their auditing following international best practice and were satisfied. Reporting for SLBC News, I'm Sheikh Usmaila.
The Institute of Public Administration and Management has held its annual International Business Seminar with the theme Foreign Direct Investment and National Development at the Family Kingdom Resort, Aberdeen. The aim of the seminar was to teach students pursuing business administration and financial services on how to become better entrepreneurs. Aminash Nyande Brahma was at the seminar and she filed in this report.
International business is a module only for years 2 students doing business administration and financial services at the Institute of Public Administration and Management. This seminar has been held annually for the past 10 years to help develop the entrepreneurial skills of students. A lecturer of international business at IPAM, James Coley, said over the past years, Sierra Leone has witnessed huge foreign direct investment, but the country is not benefiting much.
The students are reading what they call international business. One of the aspects of international business is simply foreign investment. So over the years, we have seen Sierra Leone been involved in huge foreign direct investment, but yet the nation is not reaping the fruits of investment. And so I have brought in technocrats to come and teach our students the different types of investments and how these investments are helping national development.
James Cole explained the reason why they took the students outside the classroom. A second-year business administration student, Kelvin Cole, stated that the seminar was for them to learn how to do business in Sierra Leone and beyond.
The essence of this seminar is to invite entrepreneurs, business managers, come and explain to us the practical aspect of doing business in Sierra Leone. What we are learning in classroom is just theory. So we've decided to invite experienced business people to impact our lives and explain to us how we go about foreign and international business.
One of the lecturers, Dr. Dennis Porter, said such seminar will help prepare students on the practical aspects of business and its challenges. Another student, Manot Loveta Kroma, urged government to make the business environment conducive for investors. An entrepreneur and businessman, Martin Michael, said for international business to grow in the country, the government needs to improve on infrastructure, internet facilities, and create a business-friendly environment.
We should not be using legislation such as the Finance Act or whatever to amend 4 or 5 pieces of legislation. It creates confusion, it's not consolidated, it's not easy to keep track of, and that is where we make mistakes. And there is nothing worse for an investor. Nothing worse for an investor, nothing worse for a managing director of a company to have to do so much research in trying to find legislation that has amended this legislation, and this legislation has subsequently been amended by another legislation that carries a different name.
He admonished business people to support government in developing the country and said this will only be actualized when the government also strengthens and enforces the law.
The Commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commission has said that they've got a special court that will be dealing with corruption-related cases. Francis Ben Kaifala disclosed this during a one-day training for City Council officials on the theme Upholding Ethics and Integrity in the Workplace. The training was organized by the Systems and Process Review of the Anti-Corruption Commission. Dorin Barry reports.
Hitting deep into the fabrics of the Sierra Leone society. No doubt that people strongly believe that corruption is responsible for the backwardness of Africa, including Sierra Leone. Too many leakages have been created by unpatriotic people to amass unexplained wealth. As an attempt to curb or minimize corruption in Sierra Leone, government have established a watchdog, the Anti-Corruption Commission. Thus, the ACC still continues to flex its muscle at suspected corrupt officials. It is against this backdrop that one-day training on upholding ethics and integrity at workplaces has been held as part of preventive measures being introduced by the Anti-Corruption Commission to reduce the spread of corruption. The training was part of the Commission's measures to fight graft. The Commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commission, Ben Kaifala, said the training is part of the Commission's effort to minimize the spate of corruption before it escalates. He told participants that the Commission has established a special court and expanded its investigation team to speed up cases. He emphasized the vision of the Commission in reducing corruption. Commissioner Kaifala informed the gathering that they have come up with stringent measures to enable the Commission win the war against corruption. The mayor of the Freetown City Council, Yvonne Akisoya, emphasized the importance of integrity, which deals with the ability of one's work. She said building the monumental structures of the city will help them transform the city. She cited rapid urbanization, poor planning and deforestation as major challenges facing the city. She said the council is resilient and optimistic to have a strategic transformation process that could help to rebrand the city and call on citizens to pay their local taxes if they want to see a transformed city. Deputy Commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commission, Shirley Davis, said the training will help build the capacity of institutions on how to prevent wastages and corruption. He described ethics and standards as the fundamental processes to be followed by institutions for effective service delivery. Director of Systems and Processes Review of the Anti-Corruption Commission, Rashid Toure, said the training was to promote ethics and enforce culture of integrity within the council.
The Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, SLRSA, has commenced a two-day training on road safety issues at the SLRSA headquarters in Freetown. The training targeted over 50 disc jockeys from different electronic media houses across the country. Eric Lahai Bangura witnessed the training and filed in this report.
Participants came from different media houses across the country. They gathered here at the SLRSA headquarters office at Kissy Road in Freetown to be schooled on road safety issues so that they will raise public awareness on road safety in their different musical programs. In his PowerPoint presentation, the consultant forensic pathologist Dr. Simeon Owis Kuruma made it known that 1.3 million people die yearly basis as a result of direct and indirect road crashes. He explained that victims within the age 15 to 44 years involved more in road accidents.
Nearly 1.3 million people die in road crashes each year. Additional 20 to 50 million people are injured or disabled, leading to a reduced quality of life. More than half of all road traffic deaths occur among young adults aged between 15 and 44 years.
Dr. Owis Kuruma urged these participants to use their media houses to disseminate the information on road safety to reduce road crashes. The National Traffic Coordinator, Sierra Leone Police Superintendent Zainab Bla, said that their role is to enforce law against the traffic offense. The Public Relations Officer, Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, Abdul Doumbia, said that targeting electronic media houses, DJs across the country, will be more effective in disseminating road safety messages.
As part of efforts to take road safety to the doorsteps of people all over the country, we have today decided to bring together a group of DJs from all over the country, 58 of them, from all districts and regions of Sierra Leone for a training program so that they can be empowered to effectively pass on road safety messages to the people of Sierra Leone. You know, they have a very important role as broadcasters to pass on road safety. At the end of the day, we expect them to set up a structure to be known as DJs for road safety.
Abdul Karim Kuruma alias Pilot CPU is one of the DJs who took part in the training. He explained on behalf of the DJs that he appreciated the training organized by staff of the SLRSA, adding that the training is timely in the area of capacity building.
Well, now for some entertainment news. Mohamed F. Toure, or Med-T, as he is popularly called, has decided to take over the rap game in the country and has released his first music video titled Who Dat? Well, Med-T says that he wants to be like his mentor, Cao Dinero, but for more on that, let's join our senior entertainment producer, Mohamed King Milan Bangura.
Amara Dennis Toure, popularly known as Cao Dinero, is a talented and controversial Sierra Leonean rapper. Cao Dinero started his rapping skills way back in the early 90s and got his inspiration through the American rapper Snoop Dogg. Today, Cao Dinero has maintained his skills as a rapper and has inspired a lot of upcoming rappers, including Mohamed F. Toure, known as Med-T.
My key inspirator is Cao Dinero. I admire him a lot. His work ethic, his enthusiasm to be consistent all these years. I admire him a lot.
Mohammed Ometi was born in Bo City and attended the Awana Primary and Secondary School in Bo. In 2008, he came to Freetown and attended the Ahmadiyya Secondary School, where he sat his WAS exams. He gained an admission to the IMTech and came out with a diploma in accounting and finance. He said his parents were against his will of becoming a rapper, but as God will have it, he is now in the game. But why rap?
Well, there's one thing I like about rapping. It gives me the opportunity to express myself. You know, like in R&B, it's more about women, love, stuff. But rap music, it gives me the chance to talk about things that are hidden, certain things I don't want people to hear, but I can say it in music.
Yo, Lee, turn up my vocals, baby.
Young Lee on the beat. Meti just released his first official music video titled Who Dat, a song he said he composed in order to introduce himself to the public.
You ready? Yo, Mediti's in the building. Don't get it twisted, my life is a bliss. Haters keep hating on me, fakers keep faking on me. I can laugh when I can just reminisce. But it's all good, I'm still the same dude.
This song, Buddha, I use this song as a platform to introduce myself to the hip-hop community. You know, if you listen to the song, maybe you get it twisted, but I'm not jabbing anybody, I'm not trying to diss anybody. I just use this song as a platform to introduce myself to the hip-hop community and to rap fans out there. That there is somebody that is called Mediti that can also do his own thing in rapping.
No bragging, honestly homie, I see no competition. This na new era, me they lead the transition. Little boy, tender you resignation, cause Mediti is here, call me the new creation.
Meti said his first song he recorded was You Too Sexy, featuring Heaven J in 2009, but was never released, and in 2016 he released his first official single titled Let Play, Let Play. But the big question now is, when will his album be released to the public?
I'm working on the album right now. I'm working on it. I want to release another single, hopefully first week August. I'm working on it right now.
Cause the boy then I in crime and it's about time. Yo, I've got my goons on deck. You don't wanna be dealt with, nigga, show some respect.
Well, from the entertainment world, let's now cross over to the sports world and find out especially how our darling Leonsters have been faring on in Liberia.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Updates on Newsa. I am Maria Masuma. As SLBC Sports producer Frances Bernard continued to give us updates on the African Youth Games in Algeria. The game between Sierra Leone and Rwanda female beach volleyball team was ended in Court 4, with Rwanda winning by 2 sets. The scores are as follows: Set 1, Rwanda 2-1 and 9, and Set 2, 21-5. Whilst the male volleyball team continued their excellent performance in Court 2 by defeating Cameroon in a very tough encounter by 2-1 in their only fixture. We'll bring you highlights of the match.
Thank you.
Hey, all this are best time is at you. Hello, good one, hello.
Concentrate. Yeah, good play.
Good one, good play.
Nice one. Good serve. Nice one. Good play. No for touch.
Watch out, the defense, watch out. Good one. And can't free.
Nice one. Good serve. Very good.
Meanwhile, both the male and female teams of the beach volleyball have qualified for the finals, and swimming will start tomorrow morning as Aisha Kano will be representing Sierra Leone. And over to Liberia, the Liberia Lone Stars of Elder Sierra Leone to draw during the friendly that ended not long ago. When more updates on this will be brought to you tomorrow on our Daily Sports. And for Arsenal midfielder Mesut Ozil says he no longer wants to play international football for Germany. In a lengthy statement, the 29-year-old said treatment he had received from the German Football Association, DFB, had made him no longer want to wear the German national team shirt. He also claimed he was being blamed for Germany's disappointment World Cup. In May, Ozil was criticized after being photographed with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan at a London event. Ozil attended the event with fellow Germany international Ilkay Gundogan. Both Ozil and Manchester City's Gundogan are of Turkish descent. Ozil says he and Gundogan talked about football with the president. Afterwards, photographs were released by Turkey's government AK party in the build-up to elections in the country, which Erdogan won outright. Many German politicians question Ozil and Gundogan's loyalty to German democratic values. Germany has previously criticized the Turkish leaders' crackdown on political dissent following a failed coup. Well, that's it for Sports Update. That's it for Sports Updates this evening. I am Maria Masuma. Thanks for watching. Continue to stay with us. Over to you, Kojo, for the rest of the bulletin.
Yes, many thanks to you, Maria Masuma, for the sports news. And now to end news hour, look at the main points again. President Julius Maada Bio has promised Sierra Leone, the people of Sierra Leone, quality leadership. A truck with registration number AMW656 has injured 18 passengers, and residents around the Ascension town area have suffered from flooding which destroyed houses and properties worth millions of leones. Well, that's all in News Hour this hour. On behalf of the news team, thanks for watching. Good night.